Hey Sagittarius, how's it going everybody? Welcome to Blue Mountains Tarot. This is going to be your general reading for the first half of July. Please keep that in mind, general readings, they're only going to resonate for some people, not for everybody. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, you can contact me below in the description box to set that up. Thank you as always everybody in advance for hitting the like, share, subscribe. I appreciate that. Leave a comment if you'd like. Let's take a look here. First half of July for Sagittarius. One more shuffle. What is going on with Sagittarius? There seems to be a bit of an energy around, let me just straighten this camera. A bit of a slow moving energy when it comes to kind of like wrapping your head around, wrapping your mind around something, getting clarity, getting an answer. There could be like slow, but you're taking on like a challenge. Let me just see here. That's just kind of what I'm picking up. Yeah, there you go. The hangman with the 10 of cups. So something is, you know, you're still letting go of certain things here, Sagittarius, and you're seeing perspectives. You're also gaining a sense of appreciation for the things that did. Sometimes when we get stuck in life, something holds us back, something delays our life, we realize how that's part of the process. We realize that maybe that was part of the end journey for you, where or why, you know, taking a different perspective and being happy for the things that were slow. Some things that are slow or slow us down, they serve a purpose, or they're part of arriving at that place for yourself in your life where you have a full sense of contentment. Some of you in relationships, it's kind of, there could be a little bit of, yes, you know, we have some stuck things, we're hung up on things, but overall, there's a lot of love here. Overall, you know, not everything flows perfectly, or it doesn't sink in exactly the way we want as a couple, let's say. But overall, there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of emotional fulfillment and abundance. This is a time to reflect and take a look at the different perspectives in life. 10 of Swords. Okay, you have 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords. Well, let's see here. What was this 10 of Swords coming out for? The Magician. Okay. You knew here, Sagittarius, that you had to take action in something before it kind of robbed you or took you away from being in that positive, loving, good place. I'm trying to think of an example for you. It's kind of like I need to make a drastic change, or I need to do something differently here to dig myself out of a situation, fix up what kind of did some damage to you or in your life. It's kind of like, let's say you're exhausted. Let's say you're always tired. It's like, well, you know, I better get my routine in order. I better get my sleep on track. I need to really create a little more discipline, do some healing in areas that would help you improve your sleep, as an example. Sometimes we manifest things, or we create things whether we like it or not sometimes, whether that's unconsciously or consciously. So there's some things here that if there are endings in your life, or something that was a little bit hard to swallow, a hard pill to swallow, you might be asking yourself, like, did I create that? Or was that meant to come to an end? Was something because you're meant to create or manifest somewhere else? So it's kind of like you have to end one thing before you can create something new. I want to clarify a little bit of that energy. you realize where it's like you can't have it all at once. There are some things that you remain stuck in, and it's like, okay, I have to find my happiness in this for what it is, and eventually it will change. But it's kind of like somebody who fiddles too much, and then you kind of mess up the process. Why is this? What's this magician? What is this? The King of Swords. There's that energy that I was getting earlier about learning something, or consciously, unconsciously, mental thoughts or things that we create or undo. We either do something or undo it, positively or negatively. Some of you might be creating it, again, it's this energy of like, if you've created some of your own challenges, fair enough. You can accept those and learn to be happy with them. But you can also create the changes and challenge yourself to undo things that may have caused you pain or struggle or exhaustion or whatever. So it's kind of like somebody who says, well, I'm gonna live, I don't know, I can't think of an example, but it's like, I'm gonna enjoy the moment now, and I'm gonna splurge and do all these things in the now, and then realize maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Maybe you've created or dug a little bit of a hole, but then you can undo that and learn from that, and also find happiness within that. There's this thing that, like, the duality of like pain and happiness, joy and, it's like shadow and light, dark and light, pain and happiness. It kind of, you live with the reality of both, and you make the best of, and you do what you can to change. But you also realize that you can't overly obsess or fiddle with things to try to make them exactly how you want. You can only manipulate life so much, kind of thing. I know that sounds a little bit strange or confusing, but that's just what I'm picking up. What else for Sagittarius? Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. Okay, what are you? Three of Wands. There's something here, Sag, where it feels like you're not 100% invested in something or someone. It's probably around work. Eight of Pentacles is the card of work or study. So it's kind of like this. Let's say you involve or enroll rather into a university program or a college program or a job, whatever this, and you're kind of like, you're in it, you're working hard at it, but at the same time, you're like, if something else better shows up, or if what I really want, or if another opportunity allows me to do that, I'm out of here. I'm in it, but I'm not fully invested. You're kind of waiting in a way. You're going through some motions in a sense, because maybe you feel like you have to, or that's part of what you think the course of your life is at this time, or this job. But as soon as something else comes in, it's like, I'm moving on. You're ultimately protecting your own best interests. And if it means closing up shop on something that you invested or started into, okay, so be it. Okay, what's this here for? I'm just curious. What is there anything around this Three of Wands? Because there's like, you're looking for the next adventure, the next best thing. Is there anything around this advice or healing for Sagittarius with the Three of Wands? The Page of Pentacles. Yeah, there's the offer. There's the Lovers. Yes. Could be a relationship issue, or not an issue, but let me explain that. So again, you might be working at a relationship. Let's say you're in a relationship. It turns into a bit of a friendship, and you're kind of cultivating that, or you're giving it time. But as soon as another loving exactly type of thing that you want, or another person shows up, or another relationship, you're moving on to that. You ultimately want a loving connection, let's say. Giving an example, because the Lovers is here. So you're making a choice maybe for some of you that you're going to continue to work at something because it becomes a friend or it becomes a job. But as soon as the right job or the right match or the right person shows up, what you really ultimately want, you're taking that offer and you're moving on. You're ultimately getting the final choice here into what you want. And that could tie into that Hangman, 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Magician, King of Swords. You might sort of be staying in a situation, or you might be sort of, okay, I'll make the best of it. I'm still happy. I still love my life. I'm still grateful for this job or this person or this situation or this house or whatever. But I'm kind of over it at the same time. And when the right thing shows up, I'll really close the door and move on. Because you ultimately want the offer or the person that's a true match for you, or job, or, you know, that whole thing around. This could be a lot of different things for everybody. So use align that with your situation, whether it's a relationship. You've got all those things here, okay? So you've got like home, job, a person. I think you're sort of embracing what life is at this moment, although not ideal. You're embracing and trying to be as happy and content and grateful for what is in front of you. You work with that. You kind of, you know, you work with what you've got. But you also know that when something else, and I feel like you anticipate a better outcome, a better future, a better path is going to show up. And when it does, you're ready to move on. The Death card. There you go. Death and rebirth, transformation. You are ultimately, I think you're waiting for some big changes here, Sagittarius. You're waiting for a new beginning. And you've got your, like, that's Scorpio. So I feel like your emotions are quite alive. Your emotional feelings are very alive and active around the fact that you're ready, you're waiting. This Three of Wands, you're ready for a big change, transformation. And you kind of anticipate, we all know we're going to die, right? So we anticipate that life is going to eventually end on this plane and something new on the other side is coming out for you. Is there any clarity around that? You do have endings here, 10 of Swords, the Death. So you're anticipating almost the High Priestess. Yeah, there's your intuition. You know you're meant for something a little bit higher, that you're meant to learn, or that you're ready for new lessons in life. You're ready to learn new things. Your intuition is telling you this. And so I think you're sort of working with the ingredients that you have. It's like, okay, I can make a cake and I'll make it with these ingredients. But as soon as the right ingredients show up, I'm going to make the cake that I really want to make in this life. You're sort of working with what you have. There's a lot of transformational change here. And I think a lot of you are anticipating this. You're intuitively knowing that there's endings coming in. And I think what you're doing is you're kind of mentally preparing. And that's what I was saying originally when I was feeling out your reading. It's like you're trying to wrap your head around something, but it's taking a bit of a slow process. It's like you're learning how to weave. You're learning how to knit. And you're like, I know I'm going to knit a blanket here, but I'm still learning what's going on here. And you're still weaving your way through things, accepting what is, but also knowing that this isn't forever. Now, it might stay if that situation completely blows your head off, like it completely transforms in a way where you're like, oh, I thought I was just going to stay friends until this situation transformed. This person went through a massive life change and I can't see myself without them anymore. So this could, for some of you, I feel like the Magician has a bit of that magic energy that unless something completely spins around for you for the better or heals or improves, then it was meant for you all along kind of thing. But I think you're definitely aware that what you want and what truly feels right and makes you feel happy is like, there's more out there. The Fool, new beginning. The Ace of Cups, the Page of Cups. There's a new beginning here for you, Sagittarius. For many of you, this is in a relationship. I will be honest here. For many of you, that you might be in a situation that does bring you a lot of good and a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, but you're also kind of saying like, I won't be surprised, or intuitively I feel like there's an ideal soul partnership, divine connection meant for you. What's behind that Page of Cups? King of Cups. Like major loving connection. But it's kind of like I'll see it when I believe it, but my dream or my intuition is telling me to like think big, feel big. And if that comes in, that's ultimately what I've been wanting to manifest for myself. Okay. Speaking of manifest, let's do the manifestation cards from Esther Hicks. I was going to say life being, but these are well-being cards. Let's see what's going on for Sagittarius. Yeah, it's kind of like you're working away at something here, Sagittarius, but you do have a little bit of a reservation. You are keeping your world open. Your emotions are alive. They're not fixated per se. They're open-minded. My health and well-being are natural forever. You can appropriately depart your body without illness or pain. You need not attract illness or pain as an excuse to leave your body. You are free to choose otherwise. So there's that death card. Like, yeah, you are free to choose otherwise. How interesting is that? And it's kind of like your health and your well-being are natural forever. You know that your forever outcome here is, I was saying, did I not say you're looking out for your best interests? Again, if that's a healthy relationship, a healthy job, a healthy home life, you want that until the end, forever kind of thing. So I think that's fitting. You are free to choose otherwise. So until that opportunity or epiphany or divine creative shows up in your life, you'll know it when you see it. And I think you're very open to that. I think you realize just the esoteric, the magic, the possibilities, the spiritual. There's like bigger energy that maybe you just haven't quite felt or witnessed yet. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much, everybody, for hitting the like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care.